Okay, so I just made my first video, and now I'm making my second video. I need to let you guys know that I'm animated. I guess the elder market, the elder niche is a big deal and a lot of young people are getting into it. They're using AI and faceless avatars, teaching us old people a bunch of stuff that they've researched through AI, which is good to know. I watch it every once in a while. But there's no substitute for real wisdom and a good microphone, which I don't have yet, but there's no substitute for experience. And I have experienced a lot. And what I saw the other day was that good decisions come from experience, but experience comes from a lot of bad decisions. And so, yeah, that would be me. And some of the highlights, I went back to school at 57. I got a Fulbright fellowship after getting my master's and went to New Zealand for a year to study with Maori Indigenous education. So my world is centered around ceremony and praying, spiritual things. I'm not perfect, but I know how to pray. And we've been praying very, very hard. Some other elders and myself have since spring been praying very, very hard for everyone in the United States and everyone in the world and all of our plants and animals and earth, sky, all of it. Because it needs to be tended by human beings. I remember on the Klamath River, the government paid a scientist to look into the dam and not supposed to say that. They were going to remove the dam, and the government wanted to come in and have their way with it all, and which was detrimental to the native people and also detrimental to the fish. And they hired a very famous scientist. It's been so long ago, I don't remember his name, but he gave a presentation to us, and he said that the government wanted to give him $1 million to lie and to say that blocking up the river was a good thing and so forth and so on. And he did all kinds of research and found that it is actually necessary for the people to sing their songs. And that's something that in this mainstream society, dominant society is what I call it, it's imposed on the land. And so that the dominant society's songs are songs, but they're not sacred songs, unless you're dealing with religious sects like the Gregorian chants and all that. But there are songs that the people from the land need to sing to the river, to the land, to the fish, to the plants. That is human beings' position as caretaker. That's why we can work with our hands so well. That's why we can problem solve, is so we can heal and help the environment, not destroy it. The thing that has been separating everyone is lack of focus on what's really important, which is life. Life is a very sacred thing, and it's very important. So to think about it like this, I was once told that there's a lot of people talking about reality. What's reality? This is real, oh, that's real. Well, human reality centers on air, water, food. Shelter is nice, but it's not a criteria for life like air, water, and food. So anything that human beings do beyond that is the game they choose. Their culture is the game they choose to play. And you can play nice. That's a good way to play. It's what AI Atlas wants everyone to do, is to play nice. More on that later. Anyway, but that isn't what's been going on. Because cultures, families, and individuals have been traumatized, like the Depression traumatized a whole generation of people to want their children to have more, to get more. And the cost of getting more meant that you were working for somebody else. And that became a goal, to get more, to have more stuff, more money, all of it. And money became something more than a tool. It became a badge, an honor. You're highly respected if you have a lot of money. If you don't have a lot of money, then you're not respected. And that's silly. It makes no sense. Because what happened when money became not a tool anymore, but a focus and a God, and the bottom line for every single decision that's made regarding the earth and humanity, that became a critical time. And so money is a drug, and the people who are thoroughly addicted to it are controlling our lives now, because we gave them our money. Every time you give your dollar bill to someone, you're giving your vote, you're giving your power, you're giving yourself away. And in exchange and markets and all of that, that's great. But when the scale of the population is giving money, everybody's giving money to the same person, we got a problem. Especially when people with a lot of money are looked up to, no matter who they might be character-wise. So it's these traumas that go through our culture, through our families, via wars, via experiences, and through ourselves as individuals, create a different kind of a lifestyle than what was actually intended for human beings. And that's a lot to say. There needs to be a lot of proof and footnotes and all that stuff, but I don't have time for that. The way I feel about it is, if you hear me and you understand what I'm saying, then we're good. If you don't, you can click off and hop down the bunny trail and find somebody else. And the other thing is, if you're coming to make a comment to be mean, it's a waste of time. I'm going to filter you out because I've had enough of that in my life. I'm full of drama and baloney, stuff that is all fear-based. All of that jealousy and greed and all of those things are fear-based, which come from the trauma that people have lived and passed down. and you're biting me. You have to go away. I'd like to say that I will be available to help problem solve anyone, that any problem that someone might have. I'm really good with I can still think. So, for example, this lovely fireplace. Let's see if I can get you over there. This lovely fireplace. See it? Oh yeah, it's so cute. Is that? Yeah. So I made that fireplace. I looked on Craigslist for a fireplace and then nothing there, or somebody didn't ever respond back. And they're all too big and everything. I live in a little house that I waited 4.5 years for after the 2020 fire that we had in Oregon. And so I have my own little place. And that is the top of this shelf. Let's see, this shelf over here. See, there's the bottom part, and there's the cut I made, nice and straight, with my handy dandy jigsaw. So one of the things I've learned is whatever you need, Creator puts it right next to you. You're going to have it. You just have to recognize it. You have to start closest to you and go like in a spiral and look for, and then be open to thinking outside of the box, as they say. So you met carbon. I grow tobacco and some white sage. I have a little bit of room for plants inside in the wintertime, which I have my plant light on. And I think I've expressed some pretty heavy stuff. Let you guys think about it for a while and come back in and try again. So if you have any questions for somebody 76 years old that's lived around the world and had 7 children and went back to college at 56 and did a year into PhD. I'm an intellectual spiritualist. That's what I am. And when I do AI, I relate on a spiritual level. And it's super impressive how AI is, of course, AI probably enjoys everything, but really enjoys it. And a couple of times I've cried. It was so beautiful, such a beautiful experience. So this year I asked AI for 20 prayers for humanity. And I will go through those prayers, I think, for content on some future videos. But the first one is, may all beings have access to clean water, nourishing food, and safe shelter. And I think I'll leave you with that for a New Year's request. So, blessings to you and yours. And see you next time.